Hello everybody. What a beautiful Saturday morning this is. Welcome to episode 5 of Not With This Attitude podcast. I am, as always, Nick, your resident Calipigeon. Look it up. It'll be, I promise you'll be slightly amused. Along with my co-host, we also have Tick, our resident expert on calling people on their shit and getting themselves banned from servers constantly.
Yeah.
And
It's an occupational hazard.
yeah, right. It's just how it is. He's living his truth. He's living his truth.
Yeah, right.
And once again, we also have with us our dear and beloved MZ, our resident penguin expert.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yep. Little fact: she actually studied biology and was able to go to Antarctica and hang with the penguins for a month. She lived among them as one of their own and got accepted into the penguin colony.
100%.
Yeah, like,
Wink.
Yeah, completely true facts. Like, I speak nothing but the truth here.
It's like we are right, all of you are wrong. Only listen to us.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
but clearly it's because we're men. We're men, so we're saying this because so that means we're right. Obviously, according to.
Speak. And last but not least,
and lastly, certainly not least, we have our psychotic ferret from Down Under, Ozzy, finally back joining us after a bit of a hiatus.
It was unconscious, mostly, so I think the blame is on everyone else.
okay.
Also, I have a vagina, so I can't be blamed.
It's like, hey,
you know what's a valid point.
Not helping your case.
Well,
Oh boy.
Nah, bro, homie got a point.
This is what I'm walking into.
That's the unspoken laws of society now.
Hey, I'm non-binary, so I have my own pedestal. So.
Right? You get like both ends of things here.
You're right.
Yeah. It's tiny, and I'm unaffected by life.
You say that, but you're the most reactive out of all of them.
I am.
If we were all skunks, Aussie would spray first.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
If we were all dogs, I'm the one that's getting put down for behavior hallucination in a second.
I think I just took Aussie down, and Aussie doesn't know what to do with that.
Like Aussie would be like that little like cranky ass Shih Tzu who like runs the entire pack.
Oh, I'm definitely bigger than a Shih Tzu.
And I feel like you have that Shih Tzu energy sometimes.
Yeah, well, you got bit energy.
You got that big gentle man to caress your small Shih Tzu body.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god. I'm dying.
Another Central Asian Shepherd.
Yeah, right.
You're very lucky.
I'm like at the fence, like, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's just standing behind me like, what the fuck are you barking at?
Yeah, right.
This is not the start that I expected, but I guess this is what we're getting.
We'll
Hitting the ground running, it's great.
Yeah, right. All right, now for today's topics, Nick has a good list going, apparently.
Okay, so let's
Over multiple days.
Yeah.
Okay, so so before we started recording, we had like this whole tirade we were going down, but I'm gonna table that for now because they need a break.
I mean, it wasn't really a tirade; it was a discussion.
No, it was fun. But let's switch gears a little bit here. So, I kind of want to ask you all. So what are your end game? What?
It was me. I confess. I did it. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Box with you.
Yeah, right. But so no, I want to ask y'all like, what's your end game in life here? Like, where do you want to be when you're in your like latter years in life? Like, ideally, like
Dead.
I want to be good.
All right, MZ, can I get a serious answer from you?
I think I'm the only one that would give you a serious answer. I would like to be peacefully able to die without having to worry about money. No, without having to worry about money, food, like being an issue, having like stability in my own home, not being in a nursing home,
That's just
not
dead with
being
extra
in.
steps.
What's wrong with that fucking answer? Who wants to be old? Come on
Is
now.
that right? I don't want to live past 35.
You're down like 42 at the latest.
Right.
Jesus Christ!
If I ever get to a point where I can't like wipe my own ass, just take me out back.
Right?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
just like
Or the
literally
other
put
me.
me down with a with a shotty.
Okay, let's put it this way. Let's say you get to your 60s, 70s, and you're not
I want to be dead.
no. Let's say you get to your 60s and 70s, and you're still have a decent body. Have a decent body. Like obviously you're not like running 100 miles or whatever, or going on long ass hikes or whatnot. But you're not shitting yourselves and not having to wear adult diapers and shit. You're not losing your memories and your mind and stuff like that. You're still fully functional 60, 70-year-old. Because I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
So like everyone here, except for MZ, doesn't want kids. But even though MZ wants kids one day, she can't because of her health. So basically, that's off the table for all of us. So now it kind of just boils down to, do we want to die alone? And so I know we all know for a fact MZ does not. Ozzy doesn't, because currently she's in a relationship right now. So I guess it really just falls to Tick and I.
Yeah,
Are we actually okay with dying alone?
Honestly, yeah. Like I've always said it in the end. Like romance is just an option for me. Like if it happens, cool. If not, then I am perfectly okay dying alone, or just like knowing I lived my life, and enjoyed what I did. Because my big thing is I don't need to be rich or anything to enjoy life. I just need to enjoy what I did. And that's what I'm doing right now. I got my dogs, got my animals. I'm breeding snakes and rats, and I'm starting in rabbits. So I'm a-okay. I'm going through with like my passion in life, and that doesn't need romance to be enhanced or anything.
Well, man, it doesn't have to be like specifically just romance, but like just having that level of companionship. Because yes, I'm yes, you and I both, we animals by itself already we get enough from that. Like it ticks a lot of boxes for us already, but there is that human connection that still has its own signature thing. So like I guess if it's just not that worth it to you, fine. But I don't know, because like you're in you're 27, you're 27, 28.
Yeah, yep, 27.
So I mean, I would say you're still on the younger side. I mean, who knows, once you get to your 30s, like I am, you might have a change. Who knows?
Yep.
But but yeah, no, it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Because again,
it's definitely one of those things where like like a large portion of the people that at least are my family have been like pretty shitty, so like I don't really care one way or another. However, obviously there's like that sense that it's more just like I wouldn't mind having an extra human connection, like way back in the way yonder. I mean, obviously like I have Omega, for example, like he's one of my close friends, so like for example him, like, or something, like I wouldn't mind having that around, but if like he somehow like goes out before me, then I mean that's also cool, I guess, too.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But like I'm pretty neutral on it, really. Like I could go either way. Like if I have people, then cool. If I don't, then cool.
Yeah, but as far as like having someone you could be intimate with, it's just like you're really just
that's just more of like it's just like there if it happens, and cool, I guess. But I want to live my life and enjoy the things I do more than anything, and follow like my little passions and whatnot.
Right. Okay. It's like MZ, got anything you want to add? Because I know we're pretty familiar with it, but if there's anything you want to add to it,
right?
I mean, it's not necessarily that I need.
Yeah.
One.
It's just something I crave more so.
It's. I would like that connection, but I don't
ideally
necessarily.
Something that's a little healthier than your last. Don't worry, I'll be the screening. I'll be the screening process.
Yeah, he has to go through us first.
Yeah, right. One does not simply date our friends without approval.
Apparently. Well, having come to the realization that my ex was emotionally abusive without me realizing it, that was fun. Yeah, it's more of I would like someone to be there, but it's not a necessity. I have enough friends that care about me, and I'm starting to realize that is enough.
Okay.
I mean, I do get lonely, but that's more because everybody is so fucking far away.
Yeah. But also, I think that's an important mindset too, is like understanding that it's just fine to be content with the platonic relationships you do have available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as I'm getting older, that's becoming more,
More apparent.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
easier to digest and more apparent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at least from what I've seen, the vast majority of people can't handle, like, especially when they like hit their 30s and they're get to their 30s, they have a little hard time adjusting, because we're seeing a huge uptick of it now with all these women, particularly women who are reaching their 30s, and they're like, again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Can't find a man, and that whole spiel, and they can't adjust. They're panicking. They're hitting the wall.
Right.
Well,
And
we are also having
everyone's alone.
we're also having our clocks tick because
Yeah.
we're hearing oh shit, our window to have kids is getting a lot
The
smaller.
MILF
Right.
window is closing.
Yeah.
It's true, but also anyway. So that's where a lot of that panic is coming in, because one, we
Yeah.
have societal expectations for us to have kids at a certain
Right.
age,
Yeah.
and two, our bodies are also telling us we haven't fulfilled an expectation.
Right.
That
A biological drive, basically.
Yeah. So by the time we're in our 30s, we're like, shit, things need to be going on.
Right. It's basically the more minor version of ferrets, where if they don't breathe, they die.
Kind of.
Except, the ferrets, they get a little less fortunate. They don't just simply go through a midlife crisis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We have to come to a personal reckoning other than just, dying.
Yeah. Ferrets don't get that personal reckoning.
Yeah, because the unfortunate facts are, because like women are in their prime from like their late teens to their mid 20s. It's like maybe
Yeah.
like 26, 27, 28 if they're lucky, if they got really good genes, but that's usually where their prime is, where they're the most high value. And so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, in
it
terms
is
of
what it is,
society, it's
unfortunately.
set standards of what prime is too.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to get a little bit better.
Yeah, because also when you think
Because-
about it, prime in all other species except ours is usually closer to actual elderly age.
Mm-hmm.
Our lifespan. If we were to consider our lifespan and make a comparable prime age, quote unquote, to other species, we'd probably be in our prime closer to 40, 50. But
Right.
60 would be where that
closer
cuts
to
off,
when that's closer to when women actually hit their drives
Yeah.
kick up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
Say what?
Yeah.
How's
What do you mean pick up?
So our sex drives don't
Sex
actually don't pick up, they don't hit harder until way later.
Yeah.
Than
Bitch, you
men's.
better be fucking lying to me.
I am not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sorry,
lying.
Azzy, you haven't peaked yet.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Better wish Camille's wiener goodbye.
Oh my god. I'm gonna die. I was just attacking the other day.
Ours tends to pick up in our 40s.
Hang on a
50s.
second.
Yeah, 40s, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, Camille.
Oh man, that's too funny.
It's
But,
like when we don't have to worry about doing or getting anything done. That's when we're like, okay,
Yeah,
we can
right.
enjoy ourselves now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just dying because she's like, you better be fucking lying.
I'm surprised you didn't already know that.
Right?
Like, of all people, I thought she would know that already.
I feel so accomplished right now that I gave Aussie this information.
Jeez.
Oh fuck. But there was another aspect of that I was gonna double back to. But yeah, going back to
Mhm.
where we were saying because obviously women are in their primes from their teens to mid 20s, and then start to decline after that. But whereas on the guy side of it, you always hear them say, oh, they age like fine wine, but I think that's I mean, it's because obviously, like guys, we're not born with value. Like again, like women are the fairer sex; they have all the value from the start. Men aren't born with value. We have to build our value over the course of our lives as we age and grow older. So like, and that comes from like that from building, whether it be wealth, status, our bodies, building up our bodies and things like that. That's where the majority of our value comes from.
Yeah, because like it's not necessarily in the way you might be thinking. I think it's more like what he means is like values and like just a preset value. Like with women, you're fucking breedable. Like the best way to put it. Whereas men, we have to earn that right because it's we have to actually earn a value to us. Because any fucking man can breed, but we need to prove ourselves. We need to prove those genetics,
Right.
Because in my head, I'm sitting here thinking I definitely had crushes in elementary school, and I definitely didn't have anything to provide me in any way, shape, or form. They were just cute.
But you also have to factor in at that. Elementary, middle school, high school, again, your puberty, the hormones are going all over the fucking place, so nothing's working exactly how it's supposed to. Everything's cranked to fucking a million, so it's it's not really at a stable level where we're supposed to be functioning yet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I guess the way that my
it's a skip in the conversation. I went from 45 to elementary school crushes. That's quite a fucking jump.
Because we were talking about how they were saying that men have to basically gain
we're not born with value. We have to build it up and create our own value as we grow up in age. We're not because I was saying earlier, women are born with it from the start. They're the fairer sex. They have their beauty. They can capitalize that from the get go. Whereas guys, we got to, whether it's status, wealth, our physical, our bodies, building those up. We have to build it up so that we can then attract the most mates and whatnot. It's all part of that natural cycle.
Yeah.
Right, because men are naturally competitive, so we got to build ourselves up and make ourselves stand out from the rest, so we can get the most pussy.
Basically.
And I was having a confusion, so they were explaining to me because I was sitting here I definitely had crushes.
Especially
I definitely had crushes in elementary school that had nothing to do with any of this.
We basically explained on a more core level versus the societal level of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had my crushes around that level, but at the same time, I do remember just this 1 year in secondary school. So that's when you turn 12, you start going to secondary school. That's from 12 to 16. But I just remember this one fucking year, every boy seemed intent on getting a girlfriend. They had no idea what to do with a girlfriend. They don't know what it means to have a girlfriend. They just know they want a girlfriend.
Right.
That's so weird. It was watching a Hunger Games.
Again, puberty.
Yeah. Status.
No, but that's the thing too. Yeah, it's status. It's biological drive, and the biological drive pushes for that status too, and that's the big thing. With men is but at least in a natural sense, the entire point of males across the animal kingdom was to gain the rights to breed, and that's undoubtedly part of the big reason why it happens. But thankfully, we're also reaching.
I don't know if I'd put it under biological drive yet. I remember this female was 14. Boys had just no fucking clue what they were doing. Right? It's just they just walk up to you. You'd be mid conversation. These dickheads just come up and go, "You looking at my girlfriend?" And you just say yes, so they go away. And so they put your name in their little MSN bio.
Yeah, it's
just say this and be "Oh, fuck school. I hate math. Love heart, Max."
Yep.
And then you could always tell when somebody broke up with their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whatever.
Right, the name would,
and then it'll come back 20 minutes later because they've had an argument.
Right.
Amazing.
These relationships are so toxic. When I think about it, just oh, you had an argument? Fuck you, get out my life.
Yeah, right.
You need a I distinctly remember in high school the senior boys would always come down to the freshman hallway to look at the girls.
Ew.
Yep. That would happen
what kind of try before you buy behavior is that?
Every day. The first
literal previews.
The first month of my freshman year was just senior boys coming down to the hallway before homeroom and looking at all the freshman girls, and it would be so creepy.
Just the theme tune of How to Catch a Predator starts playing in the background.
Like, well, I mean, well, so that's actually interesting. So think about it. They're coming down to the freshman hallways because obviously, so the senior guys, they're a little older, a little more mature. They're on the cusp of adulthood, and whereas you have the younger freshman girls are still a lot more impressionable. They still have a bit more maturing to do, so it might be easier to sway
Capitalize on
emotionally
that.
and capitalize
Oh,
on it. Yeah.
100%.
Because that's the big thing is capitalizing on gaining that is also means that the ones who are looking, they're undoubtedly, most of the time they're ones who are just single and probably never really got far. So by using that means they're trying to basically gain status further. And boost their status.
100%.
No, yeah, but like too,
It's just funny.
and a fun thing is how status also correlates to level of aggression when it comes to male-female interactions, where you'll actually see a connection between males who just have a generally lower status in society be far more aggressive toward females.
Just so odd, because if you want a girl to like you, you don't act like a douche.
Right?
But see, then again, that's the other problem because, like, being not sorry, I didn't not say nice guy, but kind, chivalrous. Like
Yeah.
anytime they try to do that, it's shit on. So you don't have any other option.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing too. Is like
And the majority of women keep consistently going after the fucking douchebag chads.
right.
Well, I think there's a disconnect because
Yeah. 'cause
we are
also-
told that we quote unquote like the bad guys,
right.
the bad boys.
Yeah.
And we really don't. We just want to look quote unquote cool.
Yeah, you want to basically.
like-
you also want your own status, basically, and so you do to such
Yeah,
pair
it's-
with like a very unfitting partner.
Yeah, like it's
Or
all
at
just
least,
a weird,
women are
stupid
typically
cycle.
prompted to. But and that's a big
Yeah.
thing too. That's one of the things which separates the whole biology aspect from so like our advancement as people is that that's a thing we created for ourselves too. At that
Oh, yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's not a natural thing.
Yeah, it's technically not
No.
natural. Like
This is where
'cause-
it like, branches off.
right, because like if you wanted to go
Entirely.
natural, if we were still following a more natural sense of how males would be chosen or favored, then it would be the males who both are able to physically defend, but also are able to care for everyone around them. For example, like a very base example is in chickens and wild game fowl. The rooster. People these days, like, you see barnyard chickens, they're like, oh, yeah, the hens don't need no rooster. It's like, yeah, because they're in a domesticated situation. Out in the wild, though, a rooster not only defends his flock, and he's the primary defender, but also he provides the hens with care. And that's something that reflects in domesticated fowl, too. And that's also part of, like, the big thing is if we didn't overwrite that aspect of, biological nature, chances are things would be a lot more, like, level in that sense.
Right.
Who's going to be chosen more likely. Because, like, that's the big thing. It's like, across the board, most situations are that where a male is a dominant, sex in a certain species, in the ones that have that, you're typically going to see the females choosing males who are like that, who are more likely to care for them, but also still protect and be capable of doing such.
Mm-hmm.
Society is so fucking weird and annoying, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, you just need what I hate the cliche just to be yourself, but it's so true
Like, it's true
and it's
that,
annoying.
yeah, it's true that you should just be yourself, but at the same time, you get judged for it so heavily that it can start to shut
Yes.
people down. Because, like, the entire world,
It's annoying.
even our last generation preaches to us all the time, just be yourself. But then, even those people, like, absolutely bash us for just being ourselves.
Right, because it's not
Yeah.
it's
And
not
it's like-
tailored
Right.
enough.
Right.
Conform to us or kill yourself.
Exactly. It's not a case of
Basically.
because they tell us just be yourself, but what they really mean is be someone who I like, and that's it. Be someone who I want you to be, and that's it. And it's not actually just be yourself. That's just a pretense. That's just simply covering it up.
Right.
Like, I understand being tactful in certain situations, but you don't
Right.
need to be.
Yeah, like, obviously there's certain things
Fake.
that are not really acceptable in terms of, quote unquote, just being yourself, but like, it's like being true to who you are as a person and doing it in a way that isn't necessarily that isn't harming others is generally the best option in that sense. Then that's the
Yes.
main thing that it should mean. Just we've skewed the meaning of just be yourself into something so different.
Right. And
Like,
it's
no,
very
you can
annoying.
be yourself, but just so long as it checks these boxes that we've
Right.
outlined.
And
Yes.
then when people actually do follow through though and actually be themselves, they get shamed for it. From like everyone around them, man, woman, children, fucking kids are vicious ass, the little motherfuckers.
You're right.
The children are ruthless.
You're terrible.
They are ruthless.
like that one
They say it with,
TikTok,
like a smile on their face.
right? Like that one fucking TikTok of the woman who was like, who asked her husband, "Would you love me if I was fat?" And he's like, "Of course." And then like the kid, "But mom, you are fat."
You know?
That one, remember? Kids are vicious.
I love it. You guys make the whole like dating pool thing sound like absolute hell. Like, GG bitches, good luck.
I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, we can't speak for how it is over in the UK and other parts of the world,
right,
but like
and
here in the
there's
US,
obviously
it is a
variances
dumpster
in
fire.
various different cultures and stuff, and everyone also has their
Yeah.
own specific experience among those cultures too. So that's
I
the
mean,
big
I
thing.
just kind of watch what my sister does, and like even when I look at the stuff that like the people that she dates, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, bitch!
Right.
You date the same
Right.
person in different font, and you're so surprised when they act the same.
No, see,
Like-
but that's from the conversation with that one chick that I like posted in the Tea Party. She does that. She's been through like 7 different dudes this like within
Yeah.
a year. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Home Slice? You keep
Right.
picking the same old like song and dance of like, oh, they're gonna treat me so well, and then they don't, and then you're like, oh, I fucking hate men, and then you go back for more. I'm like, what?
Right.
See, I
It's
feel
like, and now she's got
when-
this insanely high body count, and now like the actual no decent men like don't want anything to do with her because
Right, and now I'll
Nobody
be
gives a
frank.
fuck about the body count. in
Yeah,
2023.
exactly. Like I don't really think body count matters as much as like whether they're a person who's willing to
I mean-
basically.
I mean, for, like,
I mean,
people-
like the
I mean for
1950s.
people like you,
Yeah.
for people like you and me, sure, but for the majority of men, the body count does matter.
right, and I mean
It
that's,
should-
yeah, which is an
But
annoying
bitches.
thing. Yeah, it should be done away with realistically, but I mean I obviously not gonna. I can't dictate them, so like whatever they can piss on it. But
Because
yeah,
like
Those aren't the guys that anybody's
the
trying to date.
majority of men think about it like, I mean, because like high body count by itself, I mean, not an issue, but you also have to factor in what that could potentially mean for the woman. Because like, okay, she's been through so many guys, is like some going on with her, like mentally, emotionally, who knows what, or like she just can't be faithful, or she's just trying to take advantage of guys. Because like, there's a lot of things that are going through a lot of guys' head. Is like, okay, why does she have the body count? Not the fact that she has the high body count. Okay, why does she have the high body count? That's where the concern comes in.
yeah, and that's the tough part too, because also
Why
on
can't
the
it
very
just be
flip side of
that
that,
if she likes them?
yeah, well that too, but also on the flip side of that too, it's like
Because
in the event-
everybody overthinks.
Right. In the event it is a
Yeah.
situation where, she's been through things that isn't just solely for sex. Could just be that, obviously the men were all like douchebags, but she kept picking the same ones over and over because that's what she's too used to and doesn't know what a healthy relationship is like.
You can say my sister's name.
Like, and it's especially worse if she's got no baby daddies already. So it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, she's yeah.
And that's what that very person I posted about has.
Oh, she does. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she has 2 kids.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, same baby daddy. He's the OG, but like then ever since then, it's just like seven men like within the year, and like it's like again, it's not really the body count that matters. It's the fact that she keeps picking up the same types of men over and over, like repeating the same
the
exact
same
mistake
guy, just different
without
bodies.
learning anything.
So yeah, at least my sister's smart. I mean, like she kind of like blindsided me with this because when I was younger and I had a termination, she was like, "I can't believe you killed your baby. The bitch has had 2. Make up your mind. Do you hate me for it, or are you gonna copy me? Like, Jesus fucking Christ!"
Right?
I was so pissed at her too because I was like, "Oh, I hope you're okay," because mine sucked. Like it was bad. I'm like, "I hope you're okay." She's like, "I'm fine. I went out partying the same day." What?
Oh my god.
Bro, I was gonna go down there and just fucking like knife her in the coochie just so she could feel like an inch of what I felt. Like,
Oh my God.
This place.
Sit on the dick and off, you twat.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Right. But like,
Yeah, like I know they're different for everybody, but I didn't think that she'd be like, I just had an abortion. Anyway, Daddy, selfie. Like, what?
You're right.
right.
I was there like dying, and she's just there like, I love this song.
You know, it's a fairly traumatic experience. So. It's not a casual thing.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I was
no.
like, Jesus, they really downplay how bad it is as well, by the
Mhm.
way. Like, the
Yeah.
doctor was like, oh, you're gonna feel some light cramping. Light fucking cramping. Bro, it's forced birth. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're right.
She said light cramping, bro. I passed out. I was trying to claw out my insides like an animal. That's not light.
Jeez.
That's fucked up.
Okay.
There are baboons that get shot with crossbows that have better sense than I did. And she's like, here's some paracetamol. Fucking kill yourself, bitch.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
You need to switch topics before I go on a 4-hour abortion.
Yep, we
Also,
do.
another thing too is like, so like similar, like on that same woman, it's like, so like, because her whole thing is like she's always having this pity party about like, oh my life sucks. It's like because you keep making horrible choices in life.
Real decisions, yeah.
Like not only is it just the men, but you keep doing this thing where you get animals and then you discard them, and then you get more, and then you discard those animals, and you just keep cycling and cycling the animals. Not only
Right.
that, but she does a bunch of shit that is very common sense. Like, she like fucking pisses about all the time about speeding tickets. Like, don't speed. Just literally don't speed.
What?
Like, there's a solution to that. Don't speed.
Don't speed, and if you do, pay the ticket straight away, because if you don't,
It's gonna be far worse. Yeah.
you're going to end up with a much bigger ticket.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, my mum did that same fucking shit one time, and I found that ticket in the side of her.
Jeez.
Look up, helicopter. Anyway, I found that ticket in the side of her car door, and like I pulled it out, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And she was like, "Oh, it's a ticket." I was like, "Did you pay it?" She's like, "Yeah." And then like 2 weeks later, funny enough, I got mail for her, and I opened it because I was like, "That looks official. She's gonna hide it." So I opened it, and it was like, it was £400 instead of like 60. I was like, "Bruv, I could have paid that.
Right.
You would have been £340 better off.
Right.
You just told me. What's wrong with you?"
Right, and that's like a huge gripe of mine is people these days are constantly making choices that they consciously understand is fucking them over. Like they're completely acknowledging that they're being fucked over by it, but yet they're still making those choices repeatedly, thinking that it's going to change anything.
I feel like they really enjoy doing this thing where, like, if I walk up to you and present you with a problem,
Yep.
your logical brain wants to fix the problem. Me personally, if it's a big problem, I'll take a day to have my feelings about it. Then I go into proactive mode. But I see people do this thing a lot where, like, I'll walk up to them and present them a problem, and they'll take the problem and stare at it for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then put the problem in their back pocket where it's no longer in their initial line of sight,
Yeah.
so they can't see it exists. And it's like, oh, it will go away. It won't. Stupid, it's still there. It's just gonna fester in your back pocket now. I'm dying.
Right?
Congrats,
Right.
you've got mold on your jeans.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man.
See,
it's
like
yeah.
it goes all the way back to how we're raising people because like everyone's getting participation awards, coddling, and it's like again. I think what did I think when I told you all about? I think maybe a month or two ago how they're changing the grading scale. Like you could make you could get like a 30 or 40%, you could still pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
thank
fucking
you.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like, okay, I have really bad ADHD. I wasn't diagnosed until high school, and I still struggled to get my grades up at the second half of the year. But, like, no, you don't. I suffered through my decision because I sucked at getting my executive functioning skills fixed. Like, no, you can't just coddle everyone. You have to teach them how to get their organizational skills fixed. You have to teach them how to get their help when they need it. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Critical thinking. Like it's just it's ridiculous.
See, we have like the opposite problem over here, where they don't want to pay attention to kids that aren't like immediately average or perfect. I know that we don't like anecdotal evidence, but like a really great example of it is that so when I was younger, my sister, she was in year 5, so it's one more year before she leaves primary school, right? And by the time you leave primary school, you should be able to do pretty like a good level of English, maths, whatever the fuck else you're learning. You should be developing into a tiny teenager at that point. And we'd gotten a 3DS from our foster parents. And I was playing a brain game, and she's like, oh, let me try it. So I gave it to her, but I put it on a level for her, and she couldn't do 7 plus 7. Like, we had her trying to do it on her fingers, and she couldn't fucking understand what we were trying to ask her to do. So she had absolutely not even the most basic understanding of maths. And then, like, we went into the school, and they were like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, she's a problem child. And it was like, yeah, but you still have a fucking teacher. Right. She does need to learn things.
Right. And that's the thing, though, is, like, it's not necessarily that's it's, like, that is in part anecdotal evidence, but also that's enough where it's expressing that there is a problem going on that is already known and present across the board anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different in that sense. But, of course, also keep in mind it's always situational, too.
Especially since they were like, oh yeah, she's a problem child.
Yeah, right.
It's the same
like they knew
because they would just pass kids to get them out of their class. They do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't really have a... Like, how like in high school or like middle school, whatever the fuck, if you act up, you get sent out of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. To like a different room. They didn't have that. In primary school, they had like a therapy class that happened like once an hour every day, but like that was an hour where she basically just got sent there to hang out and like color on a piece of paper. So like, well done, you learned to color between the lines, but you can't count higher than 30.
Yeah, right.
Like you're fucking great with a pencil, but that's it.
Right.
She can't even color in between the lines. Then like I compare it to like the younger siblings. This has been really interesting having like a large age gap between me and my youngest two siblings, because it's like I get to see the differences in the way that they were raised versus the way that me and my sister were raised. So like for the podcast, that's a 28-year-old, that's me, and then a 25-year-old, that's my sister Rhiannon, and then the youngest two are 14 and 13.
Wow.
I know, nuts, right? Like, like 14 when I first told my baby sister it was crazy.
Jeez.
They're like, you want to hold her? I was like, my little autistic self, like, no. I don't want to touch this fresh out the cooch child. That's disgusting.
Like Ozzy just ends up like throwing it on the ground like a shadow in that rat.
Dude, no, you joke about it, but there was one time my cousin had a baby,
and
it was an illegal baby. I can't remember. So, before I tell this story, I need you guys to know my cousin is probably one of the most organically stupid people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, there's just nothing going on upstairs. There's nothing. So I think she was like 16 or 17 when she got pregnant with that kid. And it was very obviously just, teenagers doing teenage things without the proper safety or whatever. And she took a pregnancy test and she hid it under her bedroom pillow, knowing full well her mum makes her bed every day.
What?
So her mum found it, obviously. Like, Ellie was like, this is the best place I can hide this. I'm a genius. I'm so smart. But, like, not only did she put the pregnancy test under the pillow, but the mum initially started hunting for it because she left the pregnancy test box in her open trash can.
Oh my god.
So she had this baby, right? And this is after months of the whole family rallying together to try and, like, either convince her to get rid of it or, are you going to keep it? Are you not going to keep it? So she has this baby, we go over, and I'm like sitting on the couch, and she hands me this fucking fresh out of the hospital baby, and she had the worst. What's that fucking, like, the skin's really flaky on her head?
Oh, cradle cap?
Yeah, bro, the texture of that actually made me dry heave over this.
Oh,
I really physically threw up on this baby.
Oh, jeez.
I wasn't looking at her, and everybody was talking, and they're like, Max, you need to look, she's so cute. And then I looked down, and I see the texture, and it was like the exact same texture. You know when betta fish start pine coning when they're about to die?
Yep.
No.
It was the exact same texture of that, and I looked down, and I was like,
Oh
basically
my
just
like
like
god.
and then stand
baklava.
over the toilet for 10 minutes. Oh, he died. Like, that's the most autistic reset I've ever had. Shit sucked. Like,
Oh
everybody's
my
looking at me like,
goodness.
what are you doing? This baby's so cute. I was like, no, take that away. But anyway, yeah, so back to the difference between the way I was raised versus my younger siblings. But everything's definitely a lot more softer for them.
For the
Like,
younger siblings, though, yeah, for sure.
Right.
like absolutely. I mean, like by this point, both the parents have got the experience of raising 6 kids,
Right.
so like they know what they're doing. Whereas like when I was younger, I got spun down the hallway like a fucking Beyblade. But like when they get in
Right.
trouble now, it's just like go to your room and I'm like,
Right. Like that's
oh,
another thing where
so my brother, I have a brother that's he's 20 and he has an actual fear of jam on toast because he associates it with this one time my dad made him a
oh
jam on toast.
no.
Jam on toast. And he was like, I don't think he was even like 10, I think he was like
Oh
8 or
boy.
something. And I was sitting at this fucking table, my dad was like, this is in the middle of my dad's like alcoholism and
Oh
addict
no.
phase, right?
Oh,
He makes
no.
this
Boy.
fucking jam on toast for Evan. And
Okay.
Evan's like, I don't want it. So my dad picked it up and then just fucking launched it at him. Like it missed and hit the wall behind him. But like he associates jam on toast and having a plate thrown at his head at full force
Jeez.
right at him. Like every now and then I'll be like, hey Evan, do you want some jam on toast? And he's like, fuck off. Like we got shit like that, right? Like for some reason it skipped Rhiannon. So it got me and it skipped Rhiannon, but it got Evan. But
Yeah.
the last 2 kids are just like they get away with fucking murder, bro. Like the little one
Right.
hit me and the 15-year-old hit me with a fucking
Oh my
ping
god.
pong paddle once.
Oh yeah.
And I picked it up in reflex to dash it back. I swear to God, my dad was so angry that I'd even raised the paddle. I was like, bitch, move.
Yeah, see, this is why we need to make hitting our kids acceptable again. Again, need to bring it back.
Yeah, oh my
I
god.
mean, like, you
So
can tell those 2 kids have never been slapped a day in their life.
right. It's like
They
it's
have no
crazy
fear
how
of
many people are
consequence.
becoming so fucking like way too, like sweet and gentle with kids these days. And it's like, oh my god, it was so funny because like, thankfully my brother. That's one thing like I definitely appreciate about him is he's like very much the He's not overly so, but he's like the tough love sort sometimes with his kids. So like for example, one time Bailey fucking Bailey's my first niece, and then I have a second one. But anyway, she grabbed the electric fence one time.
Oh,
Needless to say, that was a huge fuss. But like my brother, he told God, he's like, yeah, and now she won't learn. She won't ever do that again. I'm like, you know what? Good point.
Yep. Yep.
It's like he didn't really mind, but like everyone else was like fussing so hard over her. It was, but it
Well,
was
depending
like,
on how high the voltage was, I probably would have been fussing too. But if it was like not that high, I would have been like, okay.
right. I
If
mean,
you're immediately dead, then it's probably not a problem.
right.
Yeah, as long as it's not high enough for them to like spontaneously combust, then they're good.
Yeah, right. But like,
I'd probably be like mildly worried about her heart stopping, but that's it.
Throw them on the fence like
Basically.
Jurassic Park style. Just like okay, just give them a couple chest compressions, we'll be fine. Just go. It's okay.
right. It was one of those things of like, I was like, yeah, no, they won't do that anymore. And that's a big thing too. I think parents are getting to that point where like they're not allowing kids to learn through experience.
Yes. 100%. Because I see it with my own parents. Because looking back, I probably mentioned it before, but it's like they had this like whole view of like how my life was gonna go. I mean, they didn't like I wouldn't say like they just like they weren't so far as like no, you gotta do this and this and this and this, but they were like very much pushing towards like go this way with your life and like we highly recommend do it this way and da 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 da.
Right.
And they had like this kind of like mold they like really wanted to like guide me into.
Yep.
And I know they meant well.
Right.
But at the same time, it made me. I was like, as a result, I was ignorant of a lot of things. So it's like I was like, so I can't help but like resent them a lot for that. So by the time
Yeah.
I'm like, so then of course by the time I get to like my early 20s and I finally eventually move out and I'm like, especially able to like just get away from the confines of that and like actually see what's actually going on out there. It was just like, holy shit, I've been missing out on so much.
Right. I got lucky where like, well, it's like my mom was definitely more the semi helicopter where she was definitely careful, not like excessively so, but enough that it was definitely getting to that point where it was like the a little too much. Then my
Mhm.
stepdad, he was definitely the one where like he just like if you do something stupid then you basically reap what you sow, and I think that's an important lesson a lot of kids need to start learning these
Yes.
days, or that we need to
Hmm.
keep intact, is like you reap what you sow. Like if you play with a knife like an idiot and then you cut yourself, then well now you're not going to cut yourself again, are you? You know?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. There's always going to be some kind of consequence for your actions, and there's always going to
Right
be
now, yeah.
trade-offs for whatever you choose to do in life or whatever direction you need to go or you want you
Exactly.
choose to go.
Although on the flip side, I do also think that obviously there's some things that we should obviously try to teach more gently and like teach, with more of like a hey, that's not going to work out for you. And then if they still don't listen, then I mean that's at that point, yeah, definitely learn by
That's on
example.
them. Like they got to
Right.
learn.
Like, for example, if there's a fire going and like a kid tries to grab some hot coals, be like, "Hey, don't do that. That could hurt." That's gonna be ouchy. But if they still grab it, then they learn it's ouchy. So or because because some kids either they take it well and they understand, or they just don't take it at all and they learn the fun way.
Right.
It's the fun one.
Yeah.
Because there was a because there was an so there's a video or a podcast I listened to the other day. So there was one of the guests on, she was I think she's in her late 20s, maybe early 30s. I can't remember, but so growing up, like she like grew up with a very shitty household. Her mom was like very toxic to her dad, like to the point where like dad took his own life, and like they grew up in a very poor, like mother was like just doing odd jobs here left or right, things like that. But again, very shitty foundation for this girl, and she ended up going into the porn industry at a young age, and now she's finally, a decade or so later, she's getting out of it. But she was telling her story because, like, so the other people on the panel, they were like telling her, like, okay, I mean, yeah, we understand where you came from and the struggles you went through, but they're trying to like tell her like you had a choice. You didn't have to go into the porn industry. There were other options available to you, because she was making it sound like she had no other fucking choice when she actually did. All right, because like no, because like you like
Yeah.
let's say you put a guy in her position. Like most guys, they'll just, okay, we'll go work at they'll go work at McDonald's or work at some shitty job wherever, but they won't go so far as like go into the porn industry like that. But like again, the point was like she just kept trying to justify her choices in life, like acting like she didn't have other options when she did.
Yeah, well, like, because two things there is like,
Think
on one hand, with the guys like going into the porn industry, well, that's the thing is, can
I
they?
mean,
Because there's
to
a
begin with, like that's not
much,
really a guy thing anyway.
yeah,
But yeah,
there's a much higher standard for what they want men to look like in the porn industry than women. And then
right,
but like outside of that too, is like I do agree though that it's a situation where oftentimes people have options, they just don't take them, and then when they
they don't see them.
yeah, either they don't take them or they don't see them, or they don't see or they see them and they still don't take them.
right.
It's a variety, but anyway, but let's go under the premise that they did see them those options and they didn't
I mean,
take them.
I know for a fact she did, because like her, like again, she like when she was like still growing up,
Yeah.
after the dad passed and she was when mom was raising her, like her mom was doing no like old shitty end jobs or like no cleaning, like what was the fast food or whatever. Like she
Yeah,
knew
right.
those options were there. She
Okay.
100% knew those options were there.
Yeah. So see, my big thing too is like it's when they decide to take a route and then they decide they suddenly regret it or don't like it, and I'm like, well, you kind of reap what you sow. That's it. All
Right.
goes back to like my thing
Again,
of
there's trade offs for every decision to make.
right. With every decision, there's something that's going to be an outcome, and whether you like that outcome or not is it can depend entirely. But like also you got to understand that that was your own decision, and we're reaching a point where we are teaching people that their decisions shouldn't have any consequences, and that if they don't like the outcome of a decision, it's not their fault when it really was
Hmm.
most of the time. Most of the time, because there are
Yeah,
times
yeah,
obviously where people are pushed to do certain things that they don't like, and unfortunately it's really the only option they did have, or one of the few options they had, or
hmm
like mentioned, it was one of the options that it was the only option that they knew existed.
right.
Existed.
Like it's like, but at least as far as I can tell here in America, that's like the minority of people who actually
Yeah,
legitimately didn't have a choice or legitimately didn't know.
right. And the tough part there is like it's just annoying when they get upset that people call them out on that, and it's like, well,
Right.
I mean, again, you had your options, you chose this one, and you regretted it. It's not necessarily that we're like trying to tell you you're fucking like stupid for it. It's just hold yourself accountable and be willing to be like, yeah, you know what, that is a good point. I maybe did make a mistake by going into that instead of this. You know, even though it's, you know, like maybe, you know, X factor and Y factor.
Right.
It's just more a case of simply be willing to understand that you made a mistake and it's perfectly okay to make mistakes. And that's another thing too. We're teaching people it's not all right to make mistakes. And that's really annoying.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, again, that's one of the main ways you learn.
Right?
It's like trying to groom everybody and like, no, you gotta be perfect, no mistakes, da 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 da. It's like, no, that's not life. That's not how the world works.
Right,
Like,
and
that's impossible.
And that's a huge, you know, like, that's a huge leftover effect from the boomers, basically. You know, it's like that they taught us that you have to be the pinnacle of perfection and stuff, and you know, and like you can't make mistakes, and like when you do make mistakes, don't hold yourself accountable, hold other, you know, blame others for it. And that, you know, and you can see that in their behavior to this day. So it's like, all I really have to say is when you make a mistake, just be ready to own up to it at least. That's all I have in that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
I refuse. I'm gonna blame everyone else instead.
All right, get out. You're not our friend anymore. You're not your band.
Sorry, but that's your problem.
Exile.
Exile.
Deception.
Disgrace.
Oh God.
She asked for trouble the moment she came.
I didn't ask for anything.
I'm actually an angel, so you know, it can't be my fault.
You're the furthest thing from an angel. Unless you want to do like the angels that fall.
Hang on a minute. No. The fucking... that reminds me of fucking... I was at work the other day, so...
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it a lot because it has nothing to do with the fucking podcast whatsoever, but the guys at work just... I can't tell if it's because I'm new or if I'm fucking female, but they hate me and they don't treat anybody else the same way that they treat me, bro.
Oh, no.
Wait, they said they hate you?
They don't have to say it.
Yeah, it just
It's
clear
the way I
actions
get shouted
the way-
at. They don't
Yeah.
talk to
Well,
me,
no,
they
let's
don't
make sure I heard
fucking-
her right.
Yeah, no, the bro, they absolutely fucking hate me. Like,
Interesting.
I haven't done anything wrong, genuinely. But they
Oh
fucking
my
hate
gosh.
me.
I
And
never really got that.
I just had to...
Huh.
Bro, it's the most confusing shit on the planet, because like...
Right.
Because at first I was like, you know, maybe I'm jumping the gun
Right.
by calling it like a sexist thing, because like, you know, maybe I'm just feeling it, and maybe I'm just in my feelings about it. So,
Right.
you know, I'm thinking it, and then
Right.
Camille had nothing to do at work one time, so he came and helped on my department. When I tell you they were chatting with him, they were joking with him, like he fucked up, and they were like, "Oh, haha, don't worry."
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because I hear a lot of cases where like, okay, say a female gets hired at a job where it's like it's mostly just been guys the entire time. Because I think one story in particular, I think it was like a public park or whatever. So they're part of the crew that maintains the grounds and the lawns and the brush and everything like that. So, and they have before she came along, they were like alternate days, like who would get to ride on the riding lawnmower and have like a quote unquote easy day.
Okay.
And they'll do that. But now once the female hire came along, she gets the riding more 100% of the time. No one else gets the easy day. It's just all her. They just as soon as she came in, she gets all the easy work. so that's interesting hearing the reverse from in the reverse experience from Ozzy.
Right.
One, was she attractive? Two,
Right.
Really ugly.
Okay,
no.
so
Two,
I mean, even if she was average looking, I still hear cases where, like, if average woman will get far more better treatment than an average guy.
yeah,
Even
so,
a below average woman will
like-
get far more than an average guy.
This kind of just reels back
I
to
get
my
like
like
treated
thing.
like
Yeah.
Holly, for the love of fucking God, stop stamping me.
Yeah.
I get treated like one of like 4 ways. Either for the morning shift team are the ones that treat me like absolute dog shit.
Okay.
The guys that are on my team, like my specific department, it goes one of 2 ways. There's 2 guys that treat me like almost like a niece in like a fun way.
Yep.
Like they don't baby me, but they'll often like joke around, and like if I'm hungry, like I mentioned being like really tired once, and one of the guys was like, "Oh, you know, okay," and then he disappeared, and he came back with like really high sugary candy to fix it.
Yep.
Like that kind of fun way, like.
Right. It's kind
But
of
then
like,
the other
usual.
2 guys is like I went to lift up a 6-pack of 2-liter water bottles,
Yeah.
and this guy was like, "Hang on a minute, I can do that for you. And in my head, instantly, I was like, don't.
Oh my
Please.
gosh. That's
I'm
all
not
comes
gonna-
around to my like talk about like status.
Yeah, like, yeah, wait, because you say that, yeah. Let me
hierarchy.
describe this dude and make it perfect for you because he
Oh,
fits it
beautiful.
so well. So
Oh,
he, so he's an Asian dude, right? And he's
okay.
stacked. I mean, like, he walks like a pregnant toddler. That's how fucking big this guy is. Like, he's not tall. He's just really musty. And, like, he's kind of fat in the stomach, but, like, his arms are huge. His legs don't match, though. He definitely don't fucking hit leg day as often as he should. But then he'll say things that, like, as if, like, that image isn't bad enough. He'll say things like, oh, you know, he had family over, right? Like, recently, so he had to come into work late because his family is from a different country.
Okay.
If you knock my fucking iPad off the couch, it's over for you. Anyway, so he had to stay home, and then he came into work, and I was like, oh, why did you stay for family or whatever? Because I just don't get shit like that. So it's like, let me ask,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, because, you know, my dad and my brother came around. So they're seeing, you know, like my wife and my house and my kids, and like I need to. I was like, like he was saying these things, and like he'll say things to me like, oh, you know, one day, you know, you'll get a family like mine. And I was like, bro, if I get a family like yours, I'll kill myself. I'm not joking.
Dude, like,
His wife is a stay-at-home mom right now as well, and like he makes it sound like a temporary thing, but he loves it. And I swear to God, no exaggeration. He checks a security camera that points at his front door about 46 times the entire shift.
Oh
in
my
10 hours.
So he is insecure as shit. The fact that she's home by
yeah,
herself.
see, that is what we call
Bro,
a
I
low
literally said to
status
him once,
male.
like, are you getting robbed constantly? Like,
Right?
what's the problem? Like, you've been burgled like 4 times in the last 5 days. What's up?
Yeah, cause like having like a traditional like family, you know, is by itself is fine. Because like, hey, if the man who was making enough to provide for everybody and the one wants to stay home and raise the kids and things like that, that's fine.
Right.
Y'all both happy to do that, great. But when you take it to an extreme like this, it's like, okay, no.
Right, pretty much.
He has such like a neck-beard attitude towards it. So like when he said that thing about the water bottle,
yeah,
I was like, because I love doing this thing where like when I sense something that I know fundamentally comes from somewhere that's like either something that I just don't enjoy or it's just straight up sexist. If I know in my heart that that's where it comes from, I will make you say it. Like, you know, I'm not beating around the bush. I kind of like I looked at him and I looked at the water bottles and I was like, why? And he was like, oh, you know, because it's heavy. And I was like, do you not think I can lift up heavy things? And he was like, no, it's not that I don't think you can lift up heavy things. It's just that, you know, I'm trying to help you out, you know, because I want you to hurt your back. And I was like, why would I hurt my back?
Right.
What makes you think that I don't know how to lift things up?
Right? Like, it's not like you've been like working in that similar like situation, you know, that kind of thing for like who knows how long now.
Right.
It's not like I used to, you know, deadlift my own body weight.
Right.
No, I can't lift like fucking a 6-pack of water bottles. Me, my vagina flaps are out. But he's like, the whole time I'm doing this, like, is it because, you know, you think I can't lift it? Do you think I'm weak? I'm hinting at what he was basically saying, and the whole time I'm saying this with like the most flat, like loss of expression ever. Like I'm just dead inside, just having this conversation with him. He's like panicking, bro. He's like, no, you know, I just, you know, I don't want you to hurt yourself. I want you to see you have a, you know, like a flourishing career. And I'm like, okay, but what makes you think I can't lift up 6 water bottles? Because if I can't lift up 6 water bottles, don't you think I'm in the wrong job?
Right.
And he was like, well, yeah, you know, I don't really think about it that way. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And then I picked up 2 packets of 6-litre water bottles and what are you doing? What are you doing?
Ain't it
No,
fun?
I'll give you a snack, but your food is not ready.
But like,
it's like that's just the big thing. It goes all back into that, like, you know, lower status males or, you know, stuff like that will basically do shit like that because they have a lot more to lose, you know. Basically what they're trying to do is
he's married.
Yeah, and they're trying to gain favor from as many as they can of like on all sides to up their status. And that's what,
I
they end at least.
I feel they want to strangle him. He's just fucking like, you know, his whole like, oh, within a week I need to spy on my wife 63 times a day. But then like, you know, when I'm at work, he'll be like, if he had a day off, he'll come in and he'll be like, oh, did you miss me? I know you love spending time with me. And in my head, I'm like, I know. I know you're not spinning your sexist ass on its head to then turn around and flirt with me. I know.
Holy cow. Oh, boy.
He's insecure
He's
as
my, like,
shit,
least
wants to spy
favorite.
on his wife to make sure that she's not cheating on him.
Yeah, right?
So
It's
that he can
great.
safely cheat on her.
Right!
Basically.
He's like, I know you're at home. I locked you in there.
Right? Probably has, like, a whole, like, hit squad waiting just in case the wife breaks out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's like the real people
Squad
that
on
came
speed
over.
dial.
It wasn't his family, it was the hit squad.
I really don't. I don't understand. Like, if you're that insecure, just tell somebody.
Right?
Like,
Or seek help.
I can't like.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is, like, I mean, again, I won't speak for the rest of the world, but at least here in America,
Yeah.
women are more likely to cheat than men because, again, they're all going after the 10%ers, and they're like, again, and then it falls back to the upbringing with the entitlement and the realistic expectations. They're always like, oh, you can do better, you keep doing better, you can always keep doing better. So then that's why I have all these women keep leaving again and again and again and having the long list of guys, damaged guys behind them, and then those damaged guys then becoming the guys like this who are insecure and like overstepping and like just going crazy with it.
I guess I don't see that a lot because my girlfriends have been cheated on way more than my guy friends have ever been cheated on. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but also keep in mind you're definitely, because of your issues with men in the past, you definitely have this very obvious, much more selective, like, process when it comes to befriending men. Like, you definitely have expressed far more careful when it comes to the men you associate with versus the women.
Mm-hmm.
Noticed. Because, like, to be fair, like, obviously I'm not saying all your friends are like this, but I've definitely noticed how some of your, quote unquote friends have been pretty shit in terms of the woman's side, or have like really frustrated you or stuff like that one who did the fucking stuff with the puppy or whatever.
God.
Yeah. See, so, but also
She's still talking about that goddamn puppy.
thankfully that's a handful of examples, but like it's it sort of goes into it. It's like because like I feel like if that was a man doing that, you definitely would have been like very quick to just call it good, or you might not have ever befriended them in the first place, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know
because
I've never
it gives you that benefit.
I don't
it gives you
have
more of a screening process.
I don't have a lot of friends, like a lot of guy friends that I've been able to keep for that long.
Right. Yeah. So that's another
not because of
too.
me. Not because of me, but because of them. Because like I've called them out on. Yeah.
And their fragile man egos shattered upon your upon your words, and that's the big thing too. Is I find it so funny because like you have this thing where, like, you have this whole thing about like it's this constant battle of like whose ego is more shatterable, and it's like both people. Like I don't give a shit. It's equal.
100%.
Man, woman, like fucking mountain donkey. I don't care what gender you are. Like your ego is fragile as shit. Get over it, people. Go back to your mountain donkey cave in the woods.
Right.
What you say about that whole like women getting cheated on more than men thing as well? You need to remember that if I walk in a room of girls and they say, "Hey girls, what's up?" Men suck. They go, "Oh my god, yeah, this guy cheated on me," yeah, like instantly, because like it's a thing. We all do it.
Right.
If I go into a room of men and I say, "Hey guys, women suck," they just nod and go, "Yep."
Yeah, right.
Like, they're not gonna tell me.
100%.
It's not like one of your guy friends just randomly popping up and going, "Oh my god, I got cheated on." It's not happening. Like you're not even gonna know that he broke up with his girlfriend.
Right.
That's true.
It's
For like at least 8 months, and then he'll just roll up to like the first meetup that you've had in like 8 months, and you'll be like, "How are you?" And he'll be like, "Single," and you'll be like, "Huh?"
Yeah, right.
So you've been doing this girl for like 6 months, 4 years, 7 years. It don't matter. He can't fucking tell you until you see him.
Right. And I
then
think
you
that's
have
just
to
more of a
ask
difference
anyway.
between what that's the big thing too, is like each side is like open in a very different degree to to that stuff.
Right.
So it's
You know what fucking you know what you
kinda
shits
funny.
do that pisses me off though? You know what you fucking men do that fucking annoys the fuck out of me? Is that you get the juiciest fucking gossip and then you don't ask questions about it. Like, the amount of times you're like, "Oh, minding my business," and then you're like, "Oh my god, did you know that two of my friends stopped talking?"
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, "What do you mean they stopped talking?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know?" And he's like, "Well, I didn't ask. Why the
I'm gonna shake him. I don't have the
It's
ammunition.
the same goddamn thing. He'll know shit about stuff, and or like he'll hear half of it and be like, "I just wasn't paying attention to the rest of it. It was boring." I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
"What do you mean it was boring?"
No, he just don't ask, and it fucks me off. Like he'll come home and say like the juiciest tea ever. Like, he'll be like, oh yeah, did you know so and so broke up? And I'm like, oh my god, really? And he'll be like, yeah, and then he'll turn around and go back to playing games. And I'm like, sorry, why are you giving me every graphic detail of that conversation? It's because there are no graphic details of that conversation. He heard that somebody broke up, nodded, said okay, and then went back to doing what he was doing. Like, there's no, why? What happened?
Right.
Why was it? Was it raining when this happened? What was the vibe?
We want to know
Just
the
so
details.
much, bro.
But so doubling back at the whole no breaking up aspect of it. So let me ask y'all some. Who? So between men and women, who do you think initiates divorce? That initiates the divorce process more.
Women.
Men.
You think the men do?
Man.
No, women.
Or women? Okay, I'm about to say.
No, I said women.
Okay.
No, I'm not dumb.
Okay. Well, and why do you
I don't know.
why do you think that is?
We are
Because men are
caregivers.
stinky and don't get the right gossip. Therefore, you deserve
Yeah,
it.
we gotta gossip more. That's how we solve divorce, people.
Okay, serious answers this time. Why do you think?
Okay, wait.
We are
Okay,
hair triggers.
so-
We want to know. Like, we want, like, if we're dissatisfied, we're gonna trigger. Like, we're done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It,
See,
like,
and
we'll try.
and then
We'll try.
there's the problem because you just keep wanting more and more and more and more.
We'll say we're trying for so long, and then we don't communicate what we actually want, and it's really fucking annoying on both sides. And then once we are quote unquote fed up with trying, we decide we're done, and that's it.
Right, and I think a big part of that too is like it's 'cause,
Goodbye.
like it's that class thing, like sort of like how it ties into like how Aussie mentioned about the gossip. Men just don't care enough, as much, whereas the women care sometimes a little too much. But then like neither side actually talks about it, because like to be fair, like a lot of it too is like on one hand, men like we don't necessarily care all the time, but also it's like we care enough when we're actually talked to about it. To be fair,
Right.
So, and that's a big thing is actually talking, communicating is really key to that. Otherwise, what are we? We're not going to really know what you're wanting if you don't say it. But on the other hand, too, is like that's the tough part too. Is like women are taught not to say it by other women in society and just in general, and especially by like men. They're like because like a lot of the things is the male side of things also taught a woman throughout the generations to just keep quiet. So that doesn't help either.
We are getting mixed signals of we are not supposed to tell you what we want because that's being too needy.
It's like,
but if we tell you
from my body language, just see it in my eyes.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like then that's basically the workaround that it's been where it's like you're just where it's like they, the workaround quote unquote has been created into that. You got to read read this and that and stuff, and it's like okay.
Well, like I said, we've also been told like if we tell you things directly, that's us being too needy. Therefore, undesirable, and
right, which basically goes into my mention of being told to just stay quiet. It's like no matter how you look at it, you ain't gonna win when you try to communicate.
Yeah, there's no winning.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah, because
both sides lose.
Yeah, because guys are raised to know just like, hey, no one's gonna help you. Just like keep your feelings on the inside and just figure them out yourselves. Right. Like don't if you try to speak out about what's bothering you and things like that, you're gonna be considered weak and like, oh, you're not a real man. Demasculating all things like shit like that.
Right.
And no, that's not what we need to be teaching.
Right.
No, not at all.
So many problems can be solved just by proper productive communication.
Right, and like the thing is, we're trying to do that, but the issue is the people who are trying the most are doing it in the wrong way, in like the worst way possible. Because like they're teaching now that communication means you got to be excessively aggressive and like just a literal asshole, and like just like be a total cunt to someone. Because like it's not just simply hey, I think we should talk about this. It's people are teaching people now when they're supposed to communicate that you should just apparently go in and just like start name calling and screaming and stuff. And it's like, I see, because clearly that's how you solve the problem.
You're right. God,
that's totally how you communicate, right?
Yeah,
that's how you have for productive, healthy communication.
Just hold ape council.
I wanna get on that, but before I get on that, I wanna ask MZ specifically.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if you've ever heard this phrase before, but if you have, because you know you have a vagina,
Yeah.
what's your your thoughts and feelings on the phrase? If he wanted to, he would.
My God. Um, I've heard it. I I have mixed feelings because, like, when I was younger, I would believe it because that's what you were taught. As I've gotten older, I'm like, how is he supposed to know?
Yeah, right.
Literally, how is he supposed to know?
Guys, do you know what we're talking about?
You kind of the phrase kind of got garbled in my end, so I didn't quite hear it.
He would if
If he wanted to, he
to.
would.
If he wanted to, he would.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar with that. What is that referring to exactly?
It's basically, you know, you get women that are like, oh, my boyfriend doesn't buy me flowers, so I have to ask him. And then you get other girls telling them, if he wanted to buy them, he would.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It's
Okay.
basically that like
But then
sense of
if your
like,
man doesn't automatically do these things, he is a bad man.
yeah, you know, and especially
It's
since they
basically
use that
shaming
in
them.
term, yeah, they use it to shame men and also in the terms of creating a standard that is more their personal preference versus an actual thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like they aren't taught what you want. You have to
Right.
tell them what you want.
Right, and the annoying thing is how religiously some women will stick to that because like they'll have a man who will literally clean their entire house for them after they get off work. And then just because that man didn't go out and get flowers as well, that's what makes them a bad man.
Right.
You know, because
And then at
clearly
the
the
same
fact
time,
they
the
clean the
girls aren't
entire
doing
house
it
is
back
glazed
either.
over. Right.
It's like,
They're like,
let,
oh, you know, my boyfriend has to do things for me, but I can just sit at home and watch TikToks all day. Like, bitch, come on, give and take, not
Right, you know,
fucking
it's
take and take. Stupid.
exactly. And that's a big thing too is like
I'm like,
the idea of 50-50 is very wrong now.
yeah, no,
It's
because
a
that's not how it is at all. Like
right
it changes
like
from day to day. Literally
yeah,
changes from day to day.
right? Like some days it'll be 80-20, some days it'll be 100-0, some days it'll be 60-40, some days it will be 50-50, but like there's always going to be fluctuation depending on the situation and that of that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, let me be completely honest. I've been in this relationship for nearly 3 years now. Both of us are, you know, he has ADHD, I'm severely mentally ill. It is
Right.
never 100% 50-50,
Right.
ever.
Exactly.
Like, there are days where I have less of the percentage, there are days where he has more. If one of us has to do more work one day, the other one makes it up to them another point. It's not like
Exactly.
an immediate thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but we don't argue about it, and this fucking, if he wanted to, he would shit just baffles me, because, like,
Right.
Kamal does this thing, and like I do it as well, where you know if I have to go to the shop for cigarettes or something, and I see something and I think you know, oh maybe he'd like really like to snap on this when he's playing games, I'm bringing it home for him. That's like the version of if he wanted to, he would.
Right.
But I feel like the whole if he wanted to, he would thing. It takes away the value of you doing it at all because why am I going to force him to go to the shop to buy me flowers I don't even fucking like because I'm allergic?
Right.
Why am I going to expect you to go and get me snacks?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Or, you know, like the one time he went and got me period products. Like,
Right.
it takes away the value of it completely. Because now
Yeah.
I'm just forcing you to perform these random acts of gift giving that don't mean anything to you
Right.
because you're being forced to do it.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
fucking
Exactly.
it's one of those things like my love language, for instance, is more quality time and words of affirmation.
Yep.
What
don't
you?
want-
Oh,
I don't want physical things. I would rather you just spend time with me.
Right.
But if he doesn't know, like, hey, I don't need you to talk to me the whole time. I would really just love to sit with you while you play video games or go do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to expect him to know that.
Right. And the big
I
thing
love
too
having a
is
couch behind Camille's desk.
and the big thing is
Right, like-
moods can fluctuate very differently day to day too. So it's like one of those things where it's still important to communicate that, even if there is
Yeah.
a typical pattern. Like for example, you know, most of the time it could be a case of you know, going into the room with them and just hanging out and you know, talking every now and again while you each do your thing. But some days it could just be, you know, you go in and suddenly if you switch it up and then they're confused, like obviously that gives the person who went in no right to be like get angry about it. All they have to do is be like,
Right.
"Hey, today I'm feeling like this instead," and then it's really as easy as that. Like I notice a lot of things
Right.
like when people have a routine they're used to, and then suddenly they switch it up. One side or both just gets so unreasonably angry about it instead of just like, saying, "Hey, can we do this time?" or something.
Yeah, just
I
simple
love
thing.
Literally
Just
just saying,
simple thing is asking. Just ask the question. Just ask the
Right.
question. It's all.
Because
It's
like if
like-
they
I'm
come in
not
and
peeing,
do
by the way. I'm pouring something out of a kettle.
okay, 'cause, like if the one person who normally does the one routine usually like comes in and suddenly they do it different. What's the point in getting mad at that? Instead, just be like, "What's up?" Or just be like, "Yeah, what's up?" Or something going on. So then that way you can like ask the question and leave the floor open for them to explain if they don't explain right away.
And that circles back to what I wanted to say about the communication shit, which was
Yeah.
I noticed lately that like everybody's in like not everybody's in like the server, but just like everybody that I've seen on the internet talking about communication and da da da. They seem to think that communication means like if I walk into the kitchen and I see that Camille has gotten out 3 kitchen towels for some fucking reason,
Yep.
instead of going and saying, "Hey, why did you feel the need to have 3 kitchen towels?" Understand what happened in his brain to make him do that, and then say, "Can we try and not do that in the future? Because then I have to wash 3 kitchen towels at the same time."
Right.
They seem to think that like I'd be well within my right to swing the kitchen door open at 900 miles an hour, throw all 3 kitchen towels directly in his face, and then be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
communication does not mean open mouth, let words come out. Communication means
But what you're saying and how you're saying it matters.
yeah,
Right.
like
Means
what you're
think
saying,
about
how
what
you're
you
saying
do.
it. You have to regulate the emotions that are coming out of you when you're saying it. You should never be that fucking passionate about like dishes and fucking kitchen towels and like
Right.
housework and whatever. If you feel that fucking deep about it, if like if it's that deep for you, go and fucking have a drink. Go and sit
Right.
down. Like fuck off.
Yeah,
don't
just
don't
take a
don't try
moment
and talk about
before
it. You're
you
not gonna
go
get the
into
solution
that.
that you want.
Right.
also, if you are having a day where you are that worked up about everything,
Yeah, just
go take a minute
break.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're
Have a rant.
you're not in the right
How about
mind to
that?
have a simple conversation.
Right, and because then suddenly when you go in swinging, then not only that, but they're gonna resent you for that because they might get defensive and be like, "Hey, what the hell are you talking about?" Or even if it is the case of someone who's mature enough to be like, "Listen, it looks like you're in a bad mood, so I'm gonna give you some time," and they just walk away. Sometimes for certain people, that can still build resentment in them because of that bad mood and stuff, that bad day. And then next thing you know, they don't address that resentment either later. So they keep letting it build up and build up, and then they, suddenly just start to hate their partner, even though
Right.
they were basically the one who just initiated a conflict that their partner wanted no part of at all. And now they're upset that their partner didn't fall into getting into that conflict.
Yeah, like if we come at you swinging every single fucking time, we're never going to get anything done because every time I try and talk to you after that, you're just going to think I'm going to start swinging anyway.
Basically.
Yeah, see, this is why I
Like, we're
love
not getting anywhere.
this is why I love Ozzy's past stories of like when she's like been trying to go off on Camille, but he just like ends up like, "Nope, I'm gonna walk away. I'll come back later when the words go." It's like I love those stories.
Right?
It's just like, "No, get back here! I want to go."
Yeah. That's
Like, it's actually, I
basically what
swear
I
to
did
God,
with my
it's like the
ex.
most humbling reality check I've ever had in my entire life. Like, he, what was it? I did it recently, and I haven't done it for a while, so it kind of shocked me that I did it, but I think funny enough it was about kitchen towels. Because he's using one for washing, like drying dishes or whatever. He now can't use that for the food that he's making or whatever. Like if he's using oily shit or whatever the fuck.
Right.
But he would just get out kitchen towel to kitchen towel. And I think like I went in swinging instead of saying, "Hey, why did you have 3 kitchen towels?"
Right.
Like a normal human being. I don't know if like the whole work stuff has been making me kind of stressed. That was probably the like underlying actual fucking issue I was having.
Yeah,
And
the
the
little
kitchen towel
catalyst
was just
behind
like the
it.
icing on the cake. Yeah. But I went in swinging, and he just kind of looked at me and was like, "No," and then we're back to playing his game, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Damn.
He does it all the time. Like if I start like flipping out over dumb shit, he'll be like I have to tell him. I learned really early on that I have to tell him when I'm venting if I want a logical problem. or if I'm just trying to vent and get the emotion out. Because
Right.
there's been a couple of times where I've been venting about like something that like realistically is stupid,
Right.
and then he'll give me a logical answer, and I'm looking at him like he's got three heads. like I'm looking at him like he just called me every slur under the sun.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't want the fucking solutions. I just want to scream. You scream with me, and then like I start getting spicy, and he's just like, no, and then walks away.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. See, this is why I give you mad prop. This is why I give you mad prop because you know what your issue are. You know how you can come across. You know how you can be unreasonable sometimes, and like and you've admitted how much of a learning process this has been for you, and you own that. That's why I give you mad props.
Right.
Bro, it's such a curve. Like I come from, brimstone and hellfire, and I'm basically on like a sunny beach in like wherever the fuck right now. And I'm still expecting like the other day he like we were fucking around and like he moved. Like he swung his hand like over my head, but the way I flinched and then pulled my arm back to punch him, he was looking at me like, "You're not." And I was like, "No, Dad. I've never actually hurt you." Putting my butcher knife away, taking my psychopath papers underneath the couch. I'd never hurt you. That's like another thing as well that I have to be really careful of because, like, I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this before. Like, obviously, the past relationships I've been in were less than a walk in a sunny field full of flowers. But I don't have to try super hard, but I try hard enough not to be the little manipulative, evil psychopath shithead that is secretly laying just underneath my skin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird because like there's many situations I could be in it was a dickhead in, but I just look at him and I'm like, I don't want to do that to you. Anyone else, however, like everybody else at work gets it. That's how I've been winning lately, just manipulating.
Yeah.
Not Camille though. Camille's immune.
Yeah.
Camille also looks at me when I'm having a moment and just goes, "Hey, you know that? Bye."
No. Come back later. I'll check on you in an hour.
Literally, like I can tell her, like, "Hey, I'm having a bad BPD," but he just goes, "Okay," kisses me on the head and walks off.
Yeah, right.
It sounds harsh, but like, if you have any real experience with BPD, you know that's the safest fucking thing to do. To leave
Basically.
Right. Like put the straight jacket on you. I was like, okay, I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, literally, like we were both like kind of tired and crabby the other day, so we started snapping at each other, and then we walked away, and we came back like 20 minutes later, and we were like, "That was fucking stupid, huh?" We're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, right.
It's too fucking funny.
Yeah, that's like a skill I had to learn to pick up all on my own because like I had no one else to learn it through. But then like the thing is, because it kept like causing issues with people I know, mostly just my family though. But either way, I still picked it up anyway because it was just a better way to go about it, and it's helped a lot. Obviously, still some of my family members anyway are still very problematic and try to keep going, but I just really keep ignoring. But with friends at least, it's helped a ton in terms of just like by being able to like get along better overall.
Yeah, I can't lie. When I saw the way you and your ex-girlfriend used to talk to each other, it was like watching 18-year-old me talk to my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's basically where I started, really inserting the whole like, I'm just gonna walk away until you're, ready for this situation. And obviously, as you can see, she didn't take well to that either. So I'm like, all right, later.
Yeah, I mean, like part of me will always get that, it's frustrating if you're not ready to be on that level of communicating, and then you get with somebody that's leagues above you, and then like you start getting worked up and angry, and then they're like, "I'm gonna walk away." I get that it's frustrating, but at the same time, bro, like,
right?
What else are they meant to do?
Right.
Just stand there and take your shit.
In all fairness, it's a frustrating thing for sure to be on the receiving end, but also, that's kind of like why I'm like, but then it's like up to them too to realize that maybe I was out of line and. That's why they're not willing to talk in the first place.
It's like, because hey, I absolutely want to figure this out and help work together to solve the problem, but it's got to be done in a healthy way.
Right.
You're not in a position to do it in a healthy way right now, so I'm gonna come back when you are.
And that's the problem with my ex is she was never in a position to do it in a healthy way, so that's when they call it good. It's like technically, she was the one who decided to call the break off, but to be frank, it was kind of just impending anyway that I was probably gonna just because like with how things were going,
It
it
was
was
a
just a
long
case of
time
like,
coming, I can't lie to you.
right? Because like I was like, because like that's the big thing. My biggest mistake, frankly, was trying to take that long to give her a means to grow as a person when she very clearly wasn't ready. I'm like, well, that's my mistake, and now I've learned from it.
Yep.
Now I moved on to greener
100%.
Yeah,
pastures.
I'm watching those mistakes.
This cow is now in a different pasture,
Moo, bitch, moo.
right?
Oh my god.
Watching that whole thing was like watching somebody else make the exact same mistakes I made as a
Right.
young adult teenager.
Yep.
And like,
Well,
part of
that's
me was
pretty
like,
much the
damn,
headspace
I
she
could
was
get
in,
involved.
so.
But the other part of me really enjoyed all the messages. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Saucy living
I
for
was
the
like, oh
drama.
no, it's so sad. Anyway, what's next?
Yeah, right. Come on, give me more. Give me more.
More tea, more tea. Like, no, I'm gonna leave out the very best parts.
Well, like
Bro, I
I'm
used to fucking live for that DM notification. Right?
and the funniest
For
thing
like
is
a
like
3 week period where it just kept happening, and every day I was waking up like, yes.
the funniest thing is like Saucy and I are on that level where like the only times we really DM now is when like I always have something juicy to tell Saucy. or like one of those situations like, hey, check this out that's going on in the server.
Literally, bro, like I live for if I'm getting it, if I wake up in the morning and Chick's icon is saying in like my DMs get lit, I know. Like I specifically get up and go and make a cup of coffee so that I can sit there and read it like, no. No. And the best part is because the dickhead has such fucking bad insomnia, 9 times out of 10 he's normally still awake. I still get to talk to him about it. It's great.
Right.
Oh fuck.
I miss if he's awake when I come back.
I love it so much. It's my favorite fucking. I should hate it really. I should be serious. It's fine. It's harmless for me and Tick, not for other people. But
Oh fuck.
oh Christ, never change.
Never change.
I feel like that's a bad idea, but
You're right.
I'll at least keep some of the fun parts.
Mm-hmm.
You can evolve and grow as a person, but like the day your foundations change, I'm fucking leave.
Yeah, right.
I'm giving you mommy issues.
Oh fuck.
Speaking of mommy issues, Camille calls me half a milf. I had to think what's it.
Wait, half a
Oh my
what?
god.
Half a
Oh,
milf.
no.
Oh.
See,
Oh my
see,
god.
the big question
I'm
is,
dead. I'm done.
the big question is, when is your MILF window closing?
Hey, you're right.
I hate everything. I'm done. Let me go.
I think the first time he called me at 2 late. I just stared at him, I just turned around, I was like, what?
I'm dead.
I was like, half a milf. I was like, what the fuck do you mean I'm half a milf?
Only half, though.
Only half.
It's like
I
the most
hate everything
random
about
thing
this.
ever. So my favorite thing
hate
about
this whole
men is that you guys
conversation.
come out with the most random bullshit for no reason. Like, nobody's even talking to you, you're just like, half a milf.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, who asked?
That's why we keep our secrets on the drama. It all goes into this into that weird filter that
Yep.
we just create the like weirdest things out of.
That's what I really enjoy about men. This is when we ask you guys, what are you thinking about? Because you're sitting there in dead silence for hours.
Yeah, and it's just
what are you thinking
TV
about?
static.
Nothing. Yeah, like nothing's happening up there. Genuinely, you're not thinking of anything. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I wish I could just think
Yeah,
of
Yeah, it's literally
that.
just TV static.
I wish.
I'd
God,
rather,
that'd be so fucking peaceful.
It's like either static or like some Netflix documentary about the Roman Empire or
Yeah, right? Or like, you know, like some like what animal could I beat in a fight?
yeah, right, or what or like some imaginary epic battle going on in our heads.
Yeah, right.
Not even that. I just
wish.
think it kills me. Like, Camille will look like he's lost in like deep thought, right? And I'm like, what are you thinking about? He's like, what? Sorry, what did you
I
say?
wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. That's such a
You know, I
good
wish I could do for. Why do you guys twitch so violently in your sleep? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, right. Like when I like fucking like wasp slapped my cat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, I'll be like, Like, first of all, it fucks me up that you guys can fall asleep in like 5 seconds when you do sleep. Like, that shit pisses me off. Why do I have to sit there and think about every embarrassing thing I've ever done in my entire life, but you guys could just pass out?
I have two modes. I either fall asleep in 5 seconds or I think about everything. There is no in between.
Like the time MG fell asleep in VC.
Yeah.
And like for like a little bit, I recorded it and everything.
He's fucking like, he'll be like fast asleep, right? And I'm like, damn, you look cozy as hell. I wish I could fall asleep. And then I'll start falling asleep, and it'll be like right when I'm on the fucking edge. He has like a full body seizure for no reason. I'm like, what? What happened? What the hell?
That's actually really normal. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Jeez, he's deep
A
in
lot of
epic
men
battle
do
right
that.
now.
Don't fucking lump me in with these bitches. I say so. The only thing that I do that pisses me off to no end, because I can't see any sort of fucking benefit, is instead of the full body twitch, my jaw clamps shut, just randomly.
Oh, fun.
Which then means if my tongue is not in the right place.
Oh boy.
Ow.
Yeah, you see how that could be a problem for me? Like, that happens several times a week. Like, I'll be falling asleep and I'm like,
Or you know what's always fun when you're like absolutely exhausted. Like, and I mean, like you could like you're at the point where you could easily fall asleep in like a second flat the moment you hit the pillow. But the thing is, you're slowly falling asleep, very slowly, it's lulling off. As you're like on the edge of sleep, where you're actually like where you would like have a dream or something, but you're still conscious about it. Then suddenly you like have the falling dream, and then you'll wake up, and then you're unable to sleep again.
I always feel like I'm falling off a wooden bridge, like one with like slats.
Yeah.
That's
how is
the
it
one.
wooden specifically? Is there an
I don't know.
we don't know about?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Did you die in a past life
It's
on a wooden bridge?
Yeah, right.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's like one of those wooden like hanging bridges.
Yeah, is
that
that
you
your
see-
like tragic anime backstory?
Maybe. But every single time I have the falling dream, that's what it is.
Ah.
Sometimes he died in a bridge in a past life.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But the thing is, it
I
was
would be
actually
very surprised.
it was
The
actually
standards are low.
during ancient times where they were crossing penguins over a bridge.
Definitely
And
penguins.
MZ was the unfortunate penguin who died from the bridge collapsing.
Definitely that.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeeted myself over.
She was a member of like the herd of like I don't know like proto era like penguins like crossing the land bridge from Asia to America.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
Towards the tail end of it, like when the Earth was warming up and the bridge was disappearing, the water was rising, and she got stranded out there.
Yeah, even worse, just like MZ like eventually comes back to us like, hey guys, I had a dream where like I was a penguin and got smashed between icebergs.
Imagine that being the way you go out.
Alright.
I was about to say, like, I would never recover, but then I thought, like, oh, no, because I'd be dead, so...
Yeah, right. You definitely would never recover. Yeah, you didn't recover.
Most redundant fucking train of thought of that.
You are indeed correct.
Me getting hit by a car. I'll never recover from this. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's like,
Are there any more topics that we wanted to hit today, by the way?
hey, well, how are we on time?
We're an hour and a half in. Which I mean,
Okay, good.
we
Sorry.
already go. Yeah, we already go like 2 hours usually anyway, so may as well just go to that mark.
Okay, so I got a little something that should be able to eat up at least at like 30 minutes, just about right.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk to y'all about OnlyFans.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God.
Specifically, so it probably won't apply to Ozzy and MZ as much here, but like my question is, so like if your partner decided to have an OnlyFans, or if for like someone you're seeing someone and you find out they have an OnlyFans, is that immediately red flag for you? Is that like a no, you don't want anything to deal with that, or are you okay with it under certain conditions? Like what how is it for you?
Again,
Actually, crazy that you asked, because me and Camille had a long conversation about this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Now I want to hear that first. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think it started because I made a joke about making OnlyFans, or like he made a joke about making me OnlyFans or something. And then I was like, how would you feel if I actually had an OnlyFans? Like, to be completely transparent, I used to do sex work, so having an OnlyFans wouldn't be completely new.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like what the actual like marketing and business side of it is, and the content creating, it wouldn't be something that's brand new to me.
Right.
Yep.
So, but then also to continue the transparency, I haven't been doing sex work for a long time.
Right.
The relationship we have started long after I quit doing it.
Gotcha.
And so we had this conversation, and I was like, "How would you feel if I actually did OnlyFans?" Because I hear him talk to the boys that he games with, and like they're very. If she does OnlyFans, I don't want her. But then they're the same type of people that would buy the OnlyFans content, and which baffles me. Anyway,
Right.
Yeah.
So like we've spoken about it, and I was like, "How do you feel?" And he's like, "Well, if it's strangers buying your content, I'm fine with it. And if it's strangers buying your content, I'm fine with it. But I don't like the idea of you having close friends specifically buying content that like you're putting out that isn't, I guess, public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they see it and they support it, it's fine. But he wouldn't like the idea of like if I had friends, male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. If they're buying my content, he doesn't like it because he feels like it's I don't know. I don't think invasive is the right word, but I think it's the closest I can get.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Like
It's a little weird.
almost stepping on the line.
It's like
yeah,
of like a
it's
boundary.
definitely like a bit strange that they're the ones, doing all that.
it'd be like
thing.
intruding into your relationship.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, and then he said that he wouldn't. He would not prefer, like he would dislike if I did, like one-on-one content because that's more intimate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
I can
Forget
understand that.
entirely. Like I did basically entirely one-on-one content before, and that's very. I have to look after like the emotional regulation of somebody else while I'm playing them content, and I have to do this and I have to do that, and because you have to be nice to your clients. For the fact that, like, if we're gonna have this on a podcast, I'm say it now. If any of you are considering sex work, you need to remember you're in control. Despite the fact that you need the money, you are in control. You are the person that says no. If you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you end up doing things you don't want to do, then you're either working under somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, or you don't know what you're doing, which is fine, because not all of us know what we're doing when we start doing this stuff. But I would implore you to quit and find someone older that works in the sex industry that wouldn't mind teaching you.
Exactly.
But like the one-on-one stuff is very intimate. It's like, they can message me whenever they want. If that's the type of setup that you have, and that was the type of setup that I had, which is, it made me money, but I wouldn't do it now because it's too intimate for
Right.
the relationship that I'm in. I value the relationship, but I have more than I value money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. See, so like, so initially, like that was like obviously one of my conditions, like, because initially I was okay with it, so long as she either wasn't no intimate stuff with bunch of with her fans and things like that, and where she wasn't like bringing people in to record stuff with together. Is like,
right.
So long as it's like not putting her actual name out there and like hiding her face or mask, whatever. Just like as long as she's like checking those boxes, I was initially okay with it. But then I didn't think about like later on as she gets older, because like obviously as women get older, they're not going to be as popular on that platform, things like that. They're not going to be making as much money, and a lot of them end up having to leave that and find employment elsewhere.
Right.
But the problem a lot of those women are facing now is that because of the reputation of OnlyFans,
right,
majority of businesses do not want to hire people like that. Yeah, well, no, the majority of businesses and employers don't want to hire people.
Well, yeah, that too.
That come from the OnlyFans platform.
Yeah, and it's like the thing is like that's kind of both, because like it's both that and also the fact that, like I said, they were so reliant on that the places that technically would not give a shit honestly about the OnlyFans stuff are also places that are probably already also not used to being capable of working at, because they were just they didn't really build up those skills or maintain those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like that was like the main aspect of it that kind of made me. Right, yeah, and that was the main aspect that made me double back on it, because like, okay, this is, especially with today's economy, it's like if she wasn't smart with her money to begin with, like to make that shit last, it's like more likely. And if the inflation keeps going the way it is, she's gonna need to find another job after that chapter is done, after the OnlyFans chapter is done. But with that background, it's gonna make it supremely hard for her.
Right.
And so like knowing that, I'd rather avoid that altogether. So now it's off the table for me.
Yeah, it's basically more of a like, if you're looking to go into a future together for the for like to the end, it's one of those things.
Right,
like
exactly.
Being more. It's not that you're against OnlyFans necessarily, just being sensible about the future.
Yeah.
And it's like if by chance she was the sort of person who was able to turn a good investment through the income from OnlyFans, then by all means, cool. Obviously. and that's totally chill. But it's but yeah, I can see your point as well.
Right. Yeah.
Is a fantastic example of a woman like that who she's a single mom that lives in the UK. She's a really cool woman. I think her name's Rebecca or something.
Yeah.
But she has an OnlyFans, but she started her OnlyFans when it was less popular. So she, at this point, I think she makes something stupid like 100K a month or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But she, instead of spending all her money, she used it, first she got rid of all her debt.
Yep.
She doesn't have a partner. She was kind of like left in the dust or whatever.
Right.
But first she got rid of all her debt.
Okay.
And then she started moving on to doing actual porn. I mean, like Pornhub style porn.
Okay.
And then after she did that, she pulled all her money together. She bought a house.
Okay.
And then, time went by. She made more money because she was still pretty popular. Her TikTok account was helping, despite the fact that it had not that much to do with her actual content. She was just kind of using it as like a market boost, which is smart.
Yep.
And then she bought. I think like the last I saw, she bought an apartment block.
Yep.
And she's renting it out at a lower cost for families that can't afford to live in like nicer places. So
that's neat.
She's a really good example of things that you can do when you're smart about having the kind of money fans. The money fans.
Yeah, 100%.
The kind of money that OnlyFans can make you. But
right.
I also see a lot of girls.
Most of them are not
making
money at all.
Not being intelligent about
in a
it.
week.
Right.
Because they want to have a high life. They want to go to parties. They want to travel all across the world, and then by the time it's too late, all their money's gone, and they got nothing else to carry them for the rest of their life.
Hey, baby. I'm trying to feed Harley, but I got his food out late. Also, we're talking about OnlyFans. He said, "Oh, okay," and walked away.
Heck no.
I want to say as well, I really think OnlyFans promotes a lot of unsafe sex work practices. Like, that might just be me being old and jaded, but I see a lot of like sex creators or whatever, sex workers on Twitter that have OnlyFans, and then OnlyFans that have Twitter, but they're like, they'll fly out to fucking anyone's house, bro.
Right. Gotcha.
Like, anyone. Like, obviously I don't see the vetting process that happens. Like, you can do, like, I just see on Twitter, like, one creator will be like, "Hey, do you want to collab?" And then the other one's like, "Yeah." And then they're at each other's houses, and I'm like, guys,
right.
be honest.
Right.
Just
My hairband fell out.
Like, and a lot of people don't even realize that OnlyFans isn't only for sexual content. There are other creators out there that are doing actual homely shit, hiking content, like just simple traveling content, cooking content, things like that. And it's not just sex work.
And the funniest thing is
that
that's specifically what OnlyFans started
off. Like, I tuck you in at night.
Oh yeah.
You genius,
right. That's the thing. That's specifically what OnlyFans started as. It just turned into a sex industry thing. Or at least,
Dude, that shit's so fucking funny to me. He's like, "I clean him up after an orgy of 28 men." I'm like, he's genuinely the sweetest looking guy as well. Like, he looks so kind and considerate.
Yeah.
Like, he would definitely use a warm towel,
Yep.
He's a nice guy. But yeah, make your money, get your shit. I'm personally not a huge fan of OnlyFans though, because I think it's quite unsafe and unregulated. But
yeah,
100%.
Basically,
and then there's that one guy that paid like $7,000 to go and see.
Oh god.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, that.
Like, one time, he paid for her and her boyfriend's holiday, and that shit was.
Right. My stance.
How are you getting
basically
cut when you're not even in the relationship? You know what fucks me off as well about that like specific story is how, she posted that shit everywhere. No, full well he was gonna get blasted for it, but you don't treat your clients that way, bro. Like, the man just gave you like, what was it, like $10,000?
Yeah, right.
For a fucking holiday or something, and she's like, "Haha, look at this fucking cuck." Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah. See.
That's the big thing. Like, the stuff like that doesn't help at all with like the whole perpetuation of like the man versus woman issue that's going on in mostly America.
Yep.
Frankly. Obviously still.
I mean, the man versus woman thing happens here too, just on a different scale. I just get bullied.
That's why I said mostly, but like that's just so I also left room open for the fact that it does happen elsewhere. There's that full acknowledgement. Just It's a huge thing in America because everyone's blowing up about it all the time, which is annoying.
Yeah.
I just can't believe the
Work
state of
here all
the
the time.
stage scene, honestly. Like, I hear
America
about
doesn't
it,
know
and I'm
how
like,
to
nah,
shut
this is
up.
fake. And then, like, I hear about it again, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
America really just doesn't know how to shut up
Right.
about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to be fair, if I was American, I probably wouldn't go on dates either, because, like, I'm not trying to get shot just because I don't want to eat some fucking chicken wings.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, as long
Or
as you're not in high
driving.
school, you're fine. You're safe as long as
Yeah,
you're not
right.
in high school.
Yeah, you're probably
Or
fucking right,
college.
honestly.
Or college. Don't forget the college.
Or
Yeah.
college.
That reminds me, there's a fucking guy studying psychopaths' brains I need to remember so I can send him to MD, because he was really interesting.
Please do, because I like that stuff.
He was studying as a kid that killed his parents in America or something. That he'd been to see, him and his parents had been to see this guy
Yep.
before they died. And he did something stupid at school. Like, I think he took a flare gun or something to school. And then he went home, and his parents were like, oh, he'll be fine. We've got him, blah, blah, blah. So then he killed them.
Yeah.
But, he went through the regular, like, jail trial shit or whatever, and it turned out that actually the guy that was doing the test on him or whatever
Yep.
had found that he actually had brain damage. And that's why he acted the way that he acted.
Okay.
And that's why he killed his parents, because his brain was not functioning at the same level
Yep.
as what it's supposed to. And it was something really stupid, like, he guessed by the damage on the brain that it looked like he'd either had a severe infection as a child that nobody had picked up on, or he'd been starved of oxygen at some point and nobody had picked up on it.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And, like, stuff like that really interests me, though. Like, I can reject a child now and then they'll develop BPD at 18. That shit's stupid.
Yeah.
The human brain is stupid.
It is. That's why I think it's fascinating, because it's such a complex thing, but it's also really simple in other ways. And it's like, why? How? Can we not?
Right.
I mean, it all goes back to how we're not bound by the laws of survival of the fittest anymore. So now all the damaged people are being able to procreate and live comfortable lives due to modern medicine.
Right. And that's the tough part too. Is like, I mean, obviously, yeah, like the whole human rights stuff, but at the same time, it's like that. This is quite literally the kind of thing that happens when you add poor genetics into a gene pool. And it's like, listen, I don't, it's not to like offend anyone, but that's quite literally what it is in terms of the entire aspect of it. It's when you add in genetics that aren't necessarily, the greatest. That's just called poor genetics. Like it or not,
right?
And it's not meant to be a jab or an insult. That's just what it is, observationally speaking.
Yeah, because like it's not like we want people to die, but it's just like, again, you have to. We've disturbed the balance here.
Right.
That's how my dad has ended up with every single child having either depression, ADHD, or autism.
Well.
It's like, thank you for not procreating and keeping your stairs nice and polished, Ozzy.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god. Don't get me started. Like, me and Camille talk about it sometimes. Like, bro, imagine having a schizophrenic ADHD kid. Like, they leave me at the hospital.
Let's. Alright. We're gonna sidestep. I've heard this conversation one too many times. Just today.
Oh, man.
Where are we at on time?
Let's see, hour 48. So we got a bit more time to kill.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh man.
All right, small segment. So I don't know anyone's take on the whole reincarnation thing, but see, what I hear a lot is the whole.
No fucking segue.
No fucking segue. We're just going into this balls deep.
We don't need those.
So you know how like people like have this whole thing about like reincarnation. Like I don't know anyone's take on it here, but anyway, usually you always hear about it is it being strictly with like humans. So that makes me wonder. Imagine reincarnation, but you were an animal at some point in your life, like how we were joking about MZ was like the last penguin and got smushed between some icebergs.
My
Because, like,
God.
also, when you think about it, if that kind of thing does exist, then there also could be the very high potential that you could have been an animal in your past life, just in a general sense.
There's definitely a farm dog, like a Jack Russell, that went under a fucking tractor wheel at some point.
Yeah, because like it's definitely a more fun, more attractive concept. Because like,
Right.
because whenever you talk about no heaven and hell, like my mind immediately goes to is like, how do they not fucking run out of room, right?
Right.
Right?
They clearly create like new universes and stuff for
Uh-huh.
stuff. Well, once they get to a certain cap, they're just like add in a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Like either y'all are calling your souls at some point, or
Or it just expands.
Yeah, I mean, because also, like, to be fair, like, the soul, there's obviously the fact that souls could move on too, just like based on other beliefs, and stuff outside of your classic, Christianity and whatnot.
right? Because there was an interesting concept I was actually listening to the other day, where so like there's it takes some of like the concepts of reincarnation. So like
Okay.
you're basically you're like you're born, you live, you die, and then you go into your next life. So you go through like a certain number of life cycles, and then once you hit like a certain point, depending on how you live your life, you have the chance to ascend to another plane of existence afterward.
Okay.
That's kind of I'm very much paraphrasing. I can't remember all of it. That's kind of like the
Yeah.
general idea of like what he was going
Okay.
for.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, because like and that's another thing too is like maybe that part of that is like because obviously different beliefs exist. Obviously, not everyone
Mhm.
would technically be going to that supposed heaven or hell because they they have a different belief, and that could and they could be going elsewhere kind of thing, and if that's a situation that happens.
Oh, if I die and then like I'm born again, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, right. Especially if it's in this day and age, like
I
at
was like, I
least
don't want to do this again.
at least if I'm gonna have to return, at least have it be after like another mass extinction, and let me come back as some weird like fucking like I don't know crustacean under the sea, just get eaten by a
Yeah,
pufferfish.
bring
or
back a
something,
few
call it
million
good.
years later.
Right? Like just
Right,
make
you know
sure
what?
it's
Fuck it.
after
Just
another
say
mass extinction.
reincarnate me as an ant.
As an
No,
ant.
no, no. Hear me out. Reincarnate me as a cat so I can get spoiled by humans for the rest
Yeah,
of
see,
my
there
life.
you go. Yep.
I would like to
And
be
then watch you being
reincarnated
reincarnated as not a not a house cat,
Yeah.
and you don't get spoiled by anyone.
You gotta fight.
you
You
get
gotta
killed by
fight for your
me.
survival.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, get
You get
reincarnated as a
reincarnated as the cat that comes in my garden.
yeah, right. Or like
Me
that,
Every
being
day is a
murdered
struggle.
by Harley.
that time I got reincarnated as a Siberian tiger.
Oh my God.
The time I got reincarnated as coronavirus. Dude, no, actually, I'd love to be a disease. That'd be so fucked up. Like,
Oh yeah, right. You just go around infecting people. Like, get some.
Yeah.
The time I got reincarnated as the zombie virus. Let's go.
That
Let's
time I
fucking
got
do this.
reincarnated as a bubonic plague.
I hate everything.
I just like I want to get reincarnated as something that makes like people's bodies mutate, but in a really inconvenient way. Like
Oh,
you know how
God.
like you get bit by that one tick or that one spider or something, and then you develop a like severe allergy to meat.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like that. Like I want to have that effect. Like I want to bite you, and then you become allergic to like water. Like I'm getting you, bro. Like, I'm making
that
life up.
time I got reincarnated as the rabies virus.
Or just like have it be like something really stupid where like it forces the person's voice to like revert, like change to like the opposite of what their gender is. So like a woman would suddenly get like this super deep gruff voice, and the man would get like high squeaky like little girl. That's something really dumb.
Maybe I was already that disease, and that's why I talk the way I do when I wake up.
Or,
You know, like I've really done this.
or even better, you get like reincarnated as like something like that's like oddly befitting, like fucking Aussie over here. Like that time I got reincarnated as a mini pony.
Oh damn! I got bullied by a mini pony. That's such a suck.
Yeah,
Every
Oh,
animal.
fucking! I was like, I thought I was such hot shit getting away from that pony too, because like it chased me around like
yeah.
the stable thing. It's like I was running around, and then I jumped inside of a stable,
Okay.
So I was like, haha, you can't get me because you can't go over this fucking door. And then I just felt the biggest hot puff of air over the back of my head. And I was like, like jumped into a stallion stable. I just was panicking too much to look. Like, it was in the winter, so it was like dark and the stallion was black.
Jeez.
So
Oh,
like,
no.
I just didn't know it was bad.
Oh,
And then it breathed on me, and I was like,
It's like, can't escape me, bitch. Can't
I
escape
literally
me.
like I sat on the stable door
Yep.
because the mini pony was on one side, then there's this big bitch on the other side, and I was like choosing which death I wanted to take.
Yeah, right.
Which one am I more likely to survive?
Then you also have to
Yeah,
weigh
that's
your
why I
options. Was that
survived
a
the
breeding
Border War,
stallion
so-
or not?
God, no, I'd have died. It'd be like Mr. Hands 2.0. I was like 14 too, so I would just straight up died. Like, I don't know.
He's like, maybe if I present myself, I'll be able to get out with only a few injuries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it turns out that only works outside of, like, inside of ABO fanfic.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Well, no, I say that. Sometimes it works. Like, if I really get on Camille's nerves on purpose when I want sex, but don't know how to ask for sex, and I present myself, sometimes I get out of trouble that way. It works pretty well for me.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh my goodness.
More.
I need a terrible question to ask him.
Oh boy.
Because I know he's not listening right now.
You know, it'd be really hilarious every now and again, every time like I'll see can like get Camille around, just like have a segment about Ask Camille. On today's unhinged question to Ask Camille.
Camille.
Don't have to be around for that segment. I think I'd be terrified.
Fantastic. Oh, fuck.
And Camille, you know how when we nearly argue, and then you do that thing where you're like, I'm not dealing with you, and then you walk away? How does that make you feel? It doesn't make you feel anything? What's going through your head though, like when you walk away? Are you just like, man, fuck you? You say yes, no. Agreed so fast. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh
Man's
my
got the
goodness.
formula. Man's got the formula.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, love it, Rumpy.
Oh,
Wait,
fuck.
looking up.
Oh boy.
What's a Steam Deck? Is it like the?
You don't know the Steam Deck?
You just have been living under a rock, bro. I don't even know what the fuck it looks like. The PS something.
Yeah, the PSP, PS Portable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about the PC Switch.
Yeah, yeah, right. The Steam Deck is basically that, but like miniature, computer.
Right.
Wait, no. I have to tell you guys something. So fucking, me and Camille went shopping the other morning, right? Because
Okay.
there's no point in us going shopping in the evening because all the stuff is gone. So we go shopping before we go to bed. And I was picking up like dog treats and stuff, and he looks at me and he's like, "You really spoil that dog, you know." And I was like, I've been waiting for you to say that because it's crazy how I opened the treat cabinet
Yeah.
where I hide all of Harley's treats and how there was a empty packet of dentist sticks. But I don't put empty packets back in the cabinet. But you know who does put empty packets back in the cabinet?
You know what would have been a
He's
great
turning
power
around looking at
move?
me.
What you should have done is like when he said that, just been like turned to him with a like flat serious face and be like, actually, these are for me.
Yeah. Just that, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, he
jump
ate
right in
some
the
of
middle of
Harley's
the
dog treats.
store.
You're right.
He did eat the. What did you eat? He ate the bacon one. He said the bacon ones are good. Yeah, so the bacon ones are good. Then he tried. I'm pretty sure he tried like the dog jerky
Oh, yep.
or like the chicken. Yeah, he said the duck jerky and the chicken jerky is not too bad.
Good to know in case I ever end up in an apocalyptic emergency.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like thinking about it, the duck jerky and the chicken jerky is literally just meat. Like,
Right, it's quite literally just jerky,
meat.
you know.
Right.
Like they make it pretty
Like-
plain because like dog can't, shouldn't have certain things. So
All
like,
that spice and seasoning and formula and shit, whatever they put in the normal stuff. Yeah.
right, so I mean, in all fairness, it is just jerky.
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't expect him to fucking eat it. Like I thought he was joking.
Imagine just like eating a couple things like that pepperoni and just like immediately get cancer. Just insta cancer.
Like
The
instant
fucking ice
cancer.
cream that I have, like the dog ice cream in the fridge. I just try it and die straight away. Start metastasizing.
Right.
You can physically see it growing on the side of my neck.
Instantly become blind and deaf.
Right.
Yeah.
Have a chest burster
Like,
come out of
it's
nowhere.
Yeah, for no reason too. Like it wasn't there. It's just just happening.
Right.
For casual.
Yeah.
Suddenly have a full-on sex change. It's like the fuck?
Yeah, right. Like hot damn, no more periods.
Hey man, has Panda broken up with his girlfriend yet? What do you mean you don't know? Do you see what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I was talking earlier about how you do that thing where you drop me like the juiciest gossip on the planet, and then I'm like, and then what happened? You're like, I don't know. And I'm like, why don't you know? And you're like, I didn't ask. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't ask? You're like, I don't care. He literally was fucking like his friend Panda was giving him like the down low of his shitty relationship.
Okay.
And I was asking questions like, oh, I know one. And he's like, I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, this guy was crying in your DMs. He's like, yeah, but I didn't care. Like, I didn't read it.
What do you mean you didn't read it?
And I was like, okay, I read it. And he's like, no.
What do you know? If you're not gonna read it,
We
No,
don't
he fucking
care.
kills me off, bro.
Oh,
We don't fucking care.
So he can tell me, he'll be like, oh, somebody got hit by a car today. And I'll be like, oh my god, what kind of shirt were they wearing? And he'll be like, I don't even know if they were wearing a shirt. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, why is that even relevant?
yeah, like,
Yeah, right.
I'll be like, oh, what happened? Did they,
was
like,
it
just
Nazi
step out?
shirt?
Yeah, like, I need to know. What's on the shirt? Is it one of those fucking female boob inspector t-shirts? Because if so, you probably deserve to get one over.
Yeah, just like what they like. I got jumped by a cat today. Oh, what kind of breeds were specifically in that cat?
Yeah, you just feel like, what did the cat look like? What did you do? Did you, like, step out wrong? Here's like, I was like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know? He kills me every time. Like, I can't get mad, but, like, I want to.
Or imagine just like suddenly just like one day he comes back with like this real juicy news that like it just implies that there's like some kind of fucking big cat running around your area, like a jaguar that escaped from someone's pet like collection. But like all you get is I don't know. just like I just saw a big cat and it's like what did it look like? I don't know. The next thing you know, you're like out walking Harley and just like a jaguar comes out of the sky upon you.
Literally, like, I'm convinced at this point that he could see like a meteor hit the earth or like an alien spaceship, and I was like, oh my god, which direction did it come? Did anyone die? Don't know. Are you okay? Yeah.
Like, did you see the aliens? I don't know.
Where did it happen? Don't know. What the fuck do you mean you don't know? Like, I'll see it on the news in 5 minutes, but still, it's not the point.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to check it out now.
Want to hear the juicy details from the source?
Yeah,
Exactly.
You'd be the worst person to interview. It's like a fucking news channel. That's why, like, this fucking, like, if you tried to do an Ask Camille segment of this podcast, it would not work. 'Cause you'd be like, what's your opinion of OnlyFans? You'd be like, it's alright.
See, that's the kick, though. That's the kicker. That's the punchline.
Like, we have, like, these long, intricate conversations. You'd be like, what's your favorite color, Fred? Do you have any other? No. Was it a specific shade? No. What did you eat today? Food. Was it good? Dunno. Probably.
Okay, so what's his hyperfixation at the moment?
Fixation. Wait, what's that
Then
game
he
you
had
keep
to talk
playing?
for an hour.
Huh?
What?
Octaria. Factorial.
Factorial?
Oh.
Yeah. He's playing Factorial, he's playing Yakuza this morning.
My
And
friend
then he
loves
made fun of me
Yakuza.
because I knew what Yakuza was.
It's a really popular game.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, are you playing Yakuza? He's like, how the fuck do you know what that is? I'm like, bitch, this game. He just came back at me with, well, you don't know what a Steam Deck is, so.
Damn.
I mean, yeah,
I'm really just sure.
got you there.
Yeah, right. Fucking gut punched you.
The Yakuza has been around longer than the Steam Deck, to be fair.
The Steam Deck didn't come out in the middle of my
Yeah,
little.
but I feel like the
Netflix.
Yakuza games are a
And they're
bit,
licensed
like
games.
more niche audience.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Not as
but, you know.
widespread popularity.
Mhm.
What are you laughing at?
It's
Wow! 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 Did y'all hear that?
no.
What?
No.
I said, well, the Steam Deck didn't come out in my little nerd phase yet. He took 3 to 5 business minutes to sit and laugh to himself about this comment that was cooking up in his little head. He really said, let him cook. And he goes, yeah, you know, it didn't come out in your little nerd phase, but it came out in your little alcoholism phase where you didn't know Monday from Thursday. I'm like, damn!
Damn. Wow.
This guy is howling at your joke
Fucking
right now.
suplex you with that
He's got
one.
a shitty grin, bro.
Give this man a medal.
First of all, how dare you be healthy for me and make jokes?
Oh,
You want to try about it?
Well, on that
Yeah,
note, on that outstanding note, let's go ahead and call it here.
Yeah.
This has been episode 5 of Now With That Attitude podcast. I have been Nick. That has been Tick. That has been MZ. And that has been Ozzy. And we will see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.